talk quickly about 3 different projects that are going on at the same time. And the first one is right behind me, is the Riverfront Promenade. That one just recently got completed. It was through Build Illinois money, and Governor Quinn came out to do the dedication and open the project up. It was years in planning. And some of the projects in downtown go back to Mayor Schock and I served on a committee probably 20 years ago together on the riverfront, and talked about what we wanted to do with the riverfront. George Vandervoort was the mayor at that time, and we talked about what to do with the riverfront, and this was part of the discussion. As to what happened here, the Foundry Park across on the other side of the river was part of that. So these things were all really kind of put together by citizen input. I was just a resident at that time, didn't serve on a committee. There were probably 15 of us that served on it, and public input determines a lot as to what happens down here. And we do listen, and the city does listen to these projects as what's going on with the downtown and what people's visions is for the downtown. So the Riverfront Promenade has become part of that. I guess part of the continuing vision, at least from my side, is to kind of expand that. Unintended benefit, people never expected to see something as nice as the lights that went with it. And I think that kind of stunned everybody, that what happened, and it really brought an emphasis to the downtown and to the riverfront. And as an old river guy and part of my business for a long time, said Elgin's turning its face back towards the river. 50 years ago, we turned our back on it, and all the backs of the buildings were behind to the river. We didn't care. There was a railroad track that ran through here, but now it's become an asset for us. And it's really important that we take advantage of that river. Other mayors and other communities said, if I had a river running through my town, I'd make a lot of benefit from it. I'd be looking at projects and doing events. And that's kind of our vision here. So I'm going to swing around a little bit, and we'll take a look at 2 other projects that are going on, currently going on. And one of them is the completion of really the downtown redevelopment. This goes back over a decade. And all the streets, all the sewers, all the water mains in the downtown were redone. The curbs were all done, the streetscape was put in. And again, this was all through a vision of committees that put together what they thought the downtown should look like. We hired Hitchcock Design, has been doing a lot of the work for us for a long time, and it really kind of plays into the theme of what we're trying to do downtown. The last piece of the downtown redevelopment is State Street, the 1 block on State Street between Highland and Chicago streets. And that's going to be refinished. The sidewalks are going to be redone, and that's really part of the downtown. So it's going to be really kind of an exciting thing then when that all gets completed. I'm sure all the businesses and everybody's going to be happy when this work is finished. The last project we're going to talk about real quickly is the Pace bus station. That's a Pace project. It's got nothing to do with the city. They've discussed it with us. It's over a $1 million revitalization and rehab of the Pace bus garage. It's an old structure. Again, that one's probably 30 years old, and it just got worn out. So they're going to redo the Pace garage, and it really ties in. The timing for us is perfect. We've also had a committee in the past that's been partially through Metro, because Metro runs through the heart of our town, and with citizen input, about 4 or 5 years ago, we got a consultant, and we looked at 2 phases for Metro on the west side of the river. One from the National Street area, and the other from Chicago Street. And we tried to gather, again, a vision of what the residents think we should be doing on the west side of the river. So somewhere down the road, that's going to be the next projects for us, is how do we make State Street, National Street, and those metro stations become more user-friendly and become more transportation-oriented. So great projects going on. Some of them take 20 years to come to fruition, but that's part of what takes time. And these things takes time to raise the money, and it takes time for us to really pay for some of these things. Really quick, all different sources of funding. The TIF money paid for the downtown, for these sidewalks, for the streets, and for the sewers. The riverfront was paid through grant from the state of Illinois and some money from the city. And the Pace Garage is going to be strictly paid for by Pace. And great stuff.